Hello, it's Jon S Sports channel where we do everything Championship, League One and running. And today we're going to go into the review from yesterday, 26th of November 2024. Please do like and subscribe. I had a bit of a glitch yesterday. I had one click on my review, on my predictions for League One. And that was a dislike, and I got more than 50% of those results correct. So I did really well. So where on earth the dislike came from? Please do like and subscribe. I do need them. It does give me a little bit of a boost when we get people like that disliking them. We're going to go into Burnley versus Coventry, and we thought that Coventry had been really well in the last two games, and we thought that they might just be able to continue this really good run of form, showing their technical abilities. However, Burnley were really on top all the way through in this, to me the stats don't really show how much they were on top. 53% possession to Burnley, 12 shots, 3 on target, 2 goals. 3 on target, 2 goals is amazing, guys. You should be proud of them. They've not been putting many on target, but when they do get them on target, they tend to go in. Exactly the same as yesterday. Only 3 on target, but 2 went in the net, and they really need to be putting more and more shots in and more shots on target. And then we should see a nice flow of goals from Burnley, which is what we expected at the beginning of the season. However, Coventry, 47% possession. They only got 3 shots at goal and only 1 on target, and that didn't go in. So they just didn't really turn up for me, and they didn't manage to get past that middle third enough to be able to make a dent into Burnley's score. So we said Burnley 1, Coventry 3, thinking that they would be able to do this, and that lack of getting shots on target was going to be an issue for Burnley. In the end, it wasn't. It was Burnley 2, Coventry 0. So we didn't get that one right, guys. And we go into Hull City versus Sheffield Wednesday. And I couldn't separate these. I know that play-wise, they're completely different animals. But the technical abilities, although in different areas, the technical abilities are quite similar. A similar level. And I couldn't really split the pair of them. You look at their how technical each side are, you look at the past results, you look at their form, and I couldn't really get one to stand out above the other. So I sat on the fence with a Hull 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1. In the end, it was very difficult because Hull City ran this ragged, 63% possession, but only got 9 shots out, and only 3 of those on target. Now, 3 of those on target out of 9. Actually, that's not too bad. Thinking about it, is it? 1 in 3. That's actually quite good. We used to get on the bottom half of the championship, 1 in 4. So that's actually quite good for sort of like a middle table team. But Sheffield Wednesday, 37% possession, and they win this 2-0. 16 shots on target is pretty bloody good. 16 shots, 4 on target. Now, the difference here is that when Wednesday had the ball, they immediately went straight into the Hull City half and then camped in the Hull City half. Yes, they didn't have the ball as often, but when they did have it, they went straight into a let's push forward. So it was very much catch them on the break sort of football. And it worked. It absolutely worked. And Hull City 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2. We said 1-1. We don't get anything for that. Norwich versus Plymouth. Now, this was always going to be an interesting one for me, because Plymouth don't do very well away from home. However, Norwich haven't been that great of late, and I wanted to have a think about this. I could have gone on the fence, but I decided, and I wrote down here, there's 2 ways this is going to go. 2-1 to Plymouth or 2-1 to Norwich. I didn't see it being a draw, but Plymouth could turn up and cause all sorts of problems. They're that sort of side. That's what Rooney pushes into the heads of his players, and it works quite often. And I thought, this is it's more likely to work with Plymouth at the minute. Plymouth are wanting and needing to get a win, whereas Norwich are just in the doldrums, and I don't know whether they were quite ready to come out there. So I went with a Norwich 1, Plymouth 2, and in the end, it was just a shooting match, wasn't it, for training field exercise for Norwich. 73% possession, 19 shots. Could have been more, guys. I mean, with 73%, I'd expect you to be in the 20s. 19 shots, 10 of them on target though, so that was really, really impressive, extremely impressive. But then you go to Plymouth, and actually, they didn't do too bad when they had the ball. 28% possession, 13 shots for 28% possession. That is actually really good. Catch them on the break, get up the other end, and shoot. And they did that. 13 shots, 4 on target, which actually is not too bad. A smidgen under what we'd expect, but it's not too bad at all. 4 shots on target, 1 goal. Yeah, that's about average for a mid-table, top half of the bottom half, if you like, side. Norwich 6, Plymouth 1. 6 goals from 10 shots on target is absolutely amazing. Norwich were just using this as target practice. Where that came from, the stats don't match up the how much Norwich were just running them ragged and really using this as a training exercise. My Norwich 1, Plymouth 2 is completely blown out of their water, isn't it? Absolutely nowhere near. Let's go Sheffield United Oxford and see if we can get anything at all from that game. We need to get something back. We did well in League One. Let's see how we do in the Championship with Sheffield United and Oxford. We said Sheffield United 1, Oxford 0. Reason being, Sheffield United aren't that consistently scoring more than 1 or 2 goals. Rarely do they score 3. So I'm thinking, 1 or 2. I'll go for 1. Oxford, well, they're the same, but I think Sheffield United have a very good defence. They're up where they are because they win things 1-0, 2-1. They have an extremely good defence, and I couldn't see Oxford being able to beat that. So I went Sheffield United 1, Oxford 0, thinking, they don't score 3 that often. 1-0, 2-0 is probably where I would have gone. It was Sheffield United 3, Oxford 0, so I got the right result. I didn't get the right score, but we got the right results. That's first tick for me. Stoke versus Preston comes next, and Stoke versus Preston, we were watching this occasionally with the listen along, and obviously the Woodman red card doesn't really make any difference to the game, not in my view. It's too late anyway. But we look at the stats, and actually there's a pattern here. We've been worried about Stoke's defence, and we've been worried on and off about Stoke's where is Stoke going to get their goals from. At first, they looked like they were showing that they could score quite easily and quite well and quite often, but then they sort of like had a little bit of a blip. And that's why when I say looked at Stoke Preston, I'm thinking Preston did not too well. Then they did really well and started just getting the more points than the people around them and started jumping up that flat bit to just below halfway. And then they had a really bad period they're sort of at the end of, I think, at the minute. And they started to play really well, but not get the points, which is, it must be really frustrating for Preston fans because they are playing quite well. And they played quite well here, I think, but they just couldn't get the ball over the line. And it is in the statistics. It does actually sort of roughly marry up. 58% possession to Stoke, 12 shots, but only 1 on target. And this is what we were saying, guys, before. If you're gonna actually shoot, you're probably better not making as many shots and trying to make sure you get them on target, because at least you've got a chance of getting it in the net. Just shooting it and it being wide or high, it's not going to get you a goal. It's not going to win you the game. It's going to look great on video. Oh, great attempt, but it's not winning you the game. So 12 shots, 1 on target for 58%, whereas Preston had 42%. Not that much less, just a little bit. 8 shots this time. 3 of them on target though, so that's quite good. That's quite good indeed. 3 on target, no goals. We would expect 1 to go in. So Stoke's goalkeeper, obviously pretty good, but we know Victor Janssen can be an extremely good goalkeeper. He's made a few mess ups and cock ups in the last few games, or last month or two, which I've seen. But on the whole, he's quite good. So that's why I think Preston just couldn't get it past that back end. The defence and the goalie managed to put up a pretty good, solid brick wall. But you look at Stoke, 12 shots, 1 on target. You really got to be doing better than that, because you should be getting at least 3 or 4 shots on target and 1 goal, at least 1 goal out of those 3 or 4, if you want to be higher than where you are. So we said Stoke 1, Preston 0, purely because home advantage, because they're actually quite similar to me. I mean, where are they now in the table? Stoke 13th and Preston 19th. Stoke on 21 points, Preston on 17. Only 4 points apart. And you can see how really Preston would have wanted this more. And I think they did want it more. And they played really good football for me. But they just didn't manage to get that. They didn't get enough shots on target. I think enough shots, full stop. So we've got to try and get it up there and crossed into a dangerous position a little bit more, guys. But the actual gameplay of Preston I was quite impressed with. Stoke City, I was impressed with their defence for once, because to me it's been worrying me, that defence, and yet yesterday it seemed to click a little bit better. So it does look like they're both starting to play a little bit better now, and hopefully they'll go on to please the fans a little bit more over the next few games. We said Stoke 1, Preston 0, and we put a brackets of perhaps 1-1. Well, you know, that 1-1 was a draw, so we did think it was could be a draw, but a score draw. It was 0-0, so we'll not claim anything for that one. But hey, we were quite close. Especially saying it could have been a 1-1. Watford, Bristol City. And this is where I follow you guys. So definitely followed you guys on this one. Watford 40% play, 7 shots, 1 on target, 1 goal. Ouch. One shot on target and it went in. Bristol City 61% possession. They turned up today. They certainly did. I think Watford did as well. So it was nice to see. I thought it was a nice game, a good game, and they both turned up. Watford 61% possession, 14 shots, 5 on target, and no goals. They'll be kicking themselves. I tell you what, they really should have been doing. They deserved at least one, a goal out of that. But at the end of the day, Watford were just digging in, and if I was being honest, I'd say that Bristol City probably deserved at least a draw out of that one. And that Bristol City fans would be going out kicking themselves, thinking, how on earth did we not get at least a draw from that one? And there's been a couple of games like that in the Championship and in League One of the last few weeks. It's just one of those that you couldn't see coming. But we did. We saw Watford 2, Bristol City 1. It was Watford 1, Bristol City 0. So we got the right result there. Not the right score, but we got the right result. And we move on to Sunderland versus West Brom now. The reason we saw this as a 1-1, and I did think this could actually be 0-0. It was 0-0. So we get a correct result here, because we said it was going to be 1-1. And I went into this a couple of times, and all I could see was Sunderland on the attack. And then when West Brom did attack, they'd get over the halfway line, and it would just fizzle out. For me, West Brom has started to show this inability to be technical in front with that final ball. They don't get enough supply in, and that final ball can be just doesn't always click enough for being in that top six. Usually they do quite well on the conversion rates, but if they want to be in that top six, they need to be converting regularly and constantly, and they need to be their total shot number needs to be a hell of a lot higher. So, that technical ability, bang, hit it, and it goes way wide is just not good enough for where they want to be. Sunderland, we know, can just fire shots off willy-nilly and get the local seagulls before they get the net. And it was one of those games. 57% possession to Sunderland, 18 shots, which is pretty decent for that. That's about right. 2 shots on target. That is just not good enough in a million years for top of the league. Yet, you look at where they are, third, and you think, ow. They should have done a lot better than that, shouldn't they? I mean, you should be getting at least 4 or 5, at least 5 of those shots on target, at least 5 or 6 even. And from that, you should be getting 1 or 2 goals. 2 shots on target out of 18, pretty garbage. They've got to improve that if they want to keep that push for that top position. West Brom, what can we say? 44% possession, 2 shots in the entire game. Only one of them on target, and it didn't go in. 0-0. Was this a fair result? Actually, because of the finishing, I'd say this was actually a fair result. On the whole, yes, fair. I think the ones that will be feeling most hard done by are Sunderland, because they really did keep on trying, and they didn't let anything get them down. They just kept on trying to make those shots in, which is why they got 18 in the entire game. So we said 1-1. It was 0-0, which we're going to get another gold star for. That's 3 out of the 6, which is actually a really good result. Usually, we would have expected 2 or 3. We actually did the 3, which is really, really good. I'd have liked 4, but hey, no, we'll not be greedy. Please do like and subscribe. Give me your predictions. Please do like. I do enjoy it when people like the video, and it does give me a little bit more of a cheer me up factor when we start seeing people disliking me because I've just said something bad about their team. I'm just being honest, guys, from what actually happened here, and listening to some of your reviews and watching the videos online, and hopefully you enjoy it. I enjoy it. Please do like and subscribe. It's Jon S Sports channel, over for another Championship Day review. Thank you.